Grace and peace, everybody. We back up in the building. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful, fantastic Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, y'all. Let's get happy. Let's get hyped up. I have a fantastic interview for you all because you all have been such a great live chat that I figure, you know what I can do? I can bring a great interview in for you all to say thank you for being the best live chat on the internet. So shout out to each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much for popping in already. I see you in here. I see you already. Now, I am going to do my very best to not butcher my guest's name. She's pronounced it to me several times, but y'all know I have a government education, so I do kind of ruin things, but we're going to hold on tight. Raquel Leah is my guest today. She's the wonderful young lady that interviewed Brandon Tatum the other day. Outstanding interview, great dialogue, lots of good back and forth, but just like all things, something fell apart. So let's bring Leah up in here. Let's go. If I could do this correctly. There we go.
Hi, Raquel, thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you.
You did a great job with my name.
I did?
Yeah, great job.
Have no fear. I'm going to mess it up. Have no fear. Well, I thank you so much for coming on. I really am glad that I was able to connect with you. Now, if you don't mind, could you tell my audience a little bit about yourself? Anything in particular you want to say about your life and, of course, your YouTube channel and what you're doing here in the social media streets?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and not just having me on, which is an honor. I see how devoted your followers are to you. Everyone was commenting on my video. I'm here from the J-Wit podcast. So thank you.
I love these people.
They're amazing. But I also was grateful that you talked about what had happened with Brandon, because it was really disappointing. So I guess we'll get there. Anyways, my name is Raquel Leah. You did a great job. Raquel Leah, Rachel Leah, any of them are good. It's a Hebrew name. I'm Jewish. I'm an Orthodox Jewish woman. I've been teaching women. You said you were a former school teacher. So was I. And I still teach online. I teach the Bible. I talk about culture and politics, what's happening in the news, all through a biblical lens, you can say.
Okay.
And I was past tense, such a big fan of Brandon. I've listened to him for years. Charlie Kirk as well. Like I really, like, it was the way I was raised. I believe in being a part of the wider world and knowing what's going on. And
for sure,
all these things affect us. And I really see this world as God's world, and it's our, we're stewards of that world. Anyways, big Brandon fan. I asked him to come on my podcast recently, and I did not think he was going to answer me. I was like, who am I? He doesn't know I exist. But he came, and it was a great, you said that you liked the interview. I thought it was great. I did, maybe push him a little bit, because honestly, Jason, it's not even, I know we're going to get to this topic, but it's not even just about Brandon. I cannot believe what's happening to the conservative movement, to the world, to politics since Charlie was murdered. I've watched some of your stuff. Again, we were talking about this before. I have a 5-month-old, so I don't have so much time to sit and watch. I try to listen to things while making dinner. But
okay.
I've listened to some of your stuff, and you have a voice of sanity. And that is so rare these days, and I don't know why. So I asked Brandon on, and then this whole debacle happened. Yeah.
Well, let's, because the debacle to me, I feel like is the letdown of the conversation. I really thought that you had a great conversation with him, and the pushback that you say, to me, that's what Brandon needed, because several other interviews, I feel like they've just been softball, kid gloves, and not saying that you came off the top rope, old school WWF style, but I do think you asked some tough questions and said some tough things, said some names, as my mentor likes to say, the names must be named. Yeah. And you said some things that I think really put Brandon in a position where he had to say, had to answer to these things. And I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was like, again, adversarial, or you're pushing back, or you guys hung the phone up on each other, cussing at each other, anything crazy. I thought that was the way interviews should have gone. So I don't know if you're classically trained in interviewing or anything of that nature, just because of the passion and the nature of the topic. You did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened.
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm not trained at all in any way. And I do name names, and I ever, for the past 4 something years. I don't know why, Jason, no one wants to say Candace Owens' name. It's really weird. And I lose respect for people who will not just call it out, because
I'll
what
tell you why.
is evil. It's evil. And she, in my opinion, is evil. And
I'll
people
tell you why.
cut that out of conversations. And I'd like to hear your take on that.
She's like I don't know if you're familiar with it. Back in the 90s, there was a trend of going to your bathroom, your powder room, look in the mirror and say this phrase 3 times and this creature will jump out at you. The boogeyman, right? And when I was a kid, it was called Candyman. So you go in your closet or in your powder room, you turn off your light, you say Candyman, 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 and the Candyman will jump out and get you. That's who Candace Owens is to a lot of these people. Like, you just turn the lights off. Hold on, let me.
That's scary.
And if you say her name, watch out. She's going to come and get me. And Cantifa's going to come and get me. And they're going to jump into my comment section and say mean things to me. And if they see me at the grocery store, they're going to run over my left toe. Oh no. So that's the cult following that she's generated, that people, it's Bloody Mary. That's the name of it. Yeah.
I was going to say Bloody Mary.
Yeah, that's what it was too. And that's what she's fostered. There's no way in the world I'm going to foster that type of behavior. I don't want, if people come over to another channel, I want them to be like, man, I'm glad Jason said my name. I'm glad Jason said my name. Not Jason said my name and all these yahoos and crazy people came out and are talking ridiculous. So, but that's what she does, to answer your question.
Yeah, honestly, I always say, when you see evil, run towards it. Don't run away from it. That's a biblical thing. Like, King David ran towards Goliath. You run towards the evil. It's, people will survive. Let her come at you. It is better. It is the moral thing to call out her evil and let her come for you. You will survive. You will be strong. And I have lost a lot of respect for so many people. Going back to my conversation with Brandon, we had an amazing conversation, and I read the Bible every single day. I call it the Torah. It's not just that I'm religious. I truly love God. I love spirituality. I love the Bible. And Brandon and I talked about that a lot. Like, it was a spiritual conversation. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand everything he was saying, but I thought it was a beautiful conversation. I did not love, but you know what? I have a lot of respect for him, and I didn't want to disrespect him when he came onto my podcast, when he was saying, she's not evil, she's deceived. I disagreed with him, but I'm not going to push. I respect, first of all, I respect my elders, but also I respect him as a person. But I did think I didn't agree with that completely. But anyways, we finished the conversation. I loved it. I was like, told my husband, like, Brandon Tatum came on my podcast. What is going on? That's so cool. And by the way, my maiden name is everywhere. So I just I can't imagine he didn't know that my father is Rabbi Shmuley. But anyways, we had a great conversation. And then I got that message the next day, basically demanding that I take it down. And if I had published it anywhere, I needed to delete it and act like it never happened. And it was so disappointing.
Well, I just want to encourage you. If you're going to be on here on YouTube for a while, be ready. There's discouraging things. Matter of fact, just this morning, YouTube demonetized the video that I did yesterday because of a 3-second audio clip that was music that was played on a 3-hour video. They demonetized the whole video for 3 seconds. So don't be surprised. This is YouTube. YouTube is going to YouTube, and disappointments are going to happen. I got it removed. Don't worry about that. But I think Brandon Tatum really, to the point that you're saying there, and a lot of people in the chat are even mentioning it, he's very good at saying, hey, Tucker, he's a terrible, bad person. Nick, low down, good for nothing, can't do right. The guy at Starbucks that made my coffee wrong, he needs to be fired. Well, see, now Candace, she, she's just deceived. She just had the wrong menu, or she's just not, he's going to make he's going to do all this lyrical gymnastics to justify her behavior. And for the life of me, I don't understand it. We've talked about it in my chat and in other places. Maybe she has some files on him. Maybe she's got some text messages that won't look good if they get published, because we know she'll publish some text messages. I don't know what it is, but he will bend over backwards and go really through hell to justify Candace. Whereas the same note, he gives all the smoke to Tucker and Nick Fuentes and fill the blank. The only thing is, I don't see him giving any smoke to any women. That's the only thing I can't, unless you can tell me a woman that he's called out like he does Tucker or Nick. I can't think of one.
Well, let me just tell you, it's not just Brandon. First of all, the week, okay, he sent me that message. I absolutely believed that it was Candace behind it because he has this weird allegiance to her where he'll kind of like sit on the fence. And this is where I'm going with this. Right after that, he sent me that message, which was so odd and I thought degrading to me. But yesterday, I saw that he posted on his Substack something like the game mentioned her name and Candace owned the moment. I was like, what? So then I read it. And at the end, it was like, I'm paraphrasing here. This is not a direct quote. Brandon was saying, he said something like, the reason Candace is so, relevant and no one can like take her down is because she stands on the truth. And when you stand on the truth, you're untouchable. And that was just shocking. It's just shocking. Anyone with a conscience, with a moral compass, will know that what she's doing is evil. And by the way, it's not just Brandon. Jason, I truly don't know if Turning Point USA is going to survive. And that is so tragic. It's so tragic because Charlie was such an amazing human being and he worked so hard. And it's not just Brandon. I don't know why Turning Point is doing this to themselves. I mean, Tucker, Brandon called him evil. Tucker, I don't know what's going on with Tucker, but the things he says are horrific. And Turning Point won't call them out. Tucker just went to a Christmas party. It was his Christmas party. He invited Candace Owens. He invited Bryce Mitchell, I believe he is, who's a UFC fighter, who said that Hitler was a great guy who all he was trying to do was kick out the greedy Jews from Germany. You don't have to be a Jew to know that that's sick. And Tucker invited all these people to his party, and Turning Point consistently continues to platform him. And they're almost like doing this to themselves. I don't get it. And you said before that, people are afraid of Candace coming for you. And I said, run towards the evil. It means confront the evil. Don't let it keep going. You have to confront it and stop it yourself. If you see something, you need to say something. It's crazy what's happening. It's crazy.
So one of the things I think, going back to Turning Point, I do think that they're gonna make it through this. Their influence and their appeal and such of that nature might be lessened because let's be honest, it was Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Okay, we're talking about the the late '80s, early '90s Chicago Bulls. It's Michael Jordan. Okay, it really doesn't matter. It's Michael Jordan. So once he leaves, it doesn't matter how good the team is. It's just not going to be the same. Now, I do think they're going to still be able to compete, but let me point out something else. Charlie Kirk had an ability, a way to deal with adversarial people that I don't think that the others around him that are at Turning Point now know how to do. And to wrangle a Tucker, to wrangle these people now, and now they're just running footloose and fancy free. And it is wilding out. And I think that's why he kept Tucker around. Charlie could keep Tucker in line. Adam can't, or Andrew can't, or these people can't. And that's why they're wilding out. I do think Turning Point needs to start culling the herd and kind of trimming back the big tent that Charlie had, because to a tent that you all can manage. If y'all can't manage these type of people, then these are the people you stop inviting to speak at your events, to be platformed. There's a ton of people who are more than capable. Sure, they're not names like Tucker, they're not names like Candace and big names, but they are very, very capable of conveying the message of conservatism to strong values that Tucker can't even, I don't think he even knows what strong values are. But they should be looking at some B roster. Look at your bench at this point. And stop looking at Tucker. Because I think Tucker, as you said, one of the things he did literally within a few days, Turning Point had him on Charlie Kirk's podcast. Then they had him on the platform. That rascal turned right around and had Nick Fuentes on his show. And now we're dealing with the mainstreaming of Nick Fuentes. All because Tucker Carlson brought him on. All because y'all had Tucker on Charlie's channel. I do want to bring in, just so people can see, because this Substack is definitely something to be seen by the masses. This is crazy work.
It's insane. It's insane.
If you're not familiar, Substack is kind of like an email newsletter, if you will. Really good. There's a lot of great content creators on there that are, hey, your boy's on there. Matter of fact, I'm on here.
Yeah.
But I'm not prolific, right? But anyway, Brandon Tatum put out this on the 7th. Was this the day after or the day before? When was this with?
This was the day after I posted about it because I waited for them to email me back. I didn't want to just put it up online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to see like the lyrical representation of glazing, when people say glazing, like, I don't know what they mean. What do they mean by glazing? Go read this article by Brandon Tatum about how Candace Owens responded to the game, putting her name in a rap song is epic glazing of the highest order. I am going to read this last sentence though. Because I think it goes to tell you exactly what happened. The game tried to make a statement with a dramatic track title. Instead, he ended up proving the strength of her influence. Candace stays winning because the truth stands with her. And when you stand on truth, it does not matter who takes a shot at you. You rise again. She is not just surviving the attention, she is shaping it.
Jason, he literally told me that she's deceived. And even that I disagreed with. So what is it? What is this two-timing, two-faced? I don't get it.
I agree with you 100%. And hence why I even told him that I disagreed with his commentary. Like, if you open this up, like I literally said, and not a lot of people are in agreement with him. But anyway, I did comment back to him and said, yo, this is a bad look. This is horrible. So, all right. So you guys have this good conversation. Everything's sunshine and rainbows. You get off the call. You tell your husband, like, man, everything's great. The next day you get this message, it's not me, it's you. Please take it down. What did you think about that?
I thought he went woke on me. I understand that not everyone likes my dad. That's fine. I don't agree with everything. I love my father, but I don't agree with everything he says. But conservatives first of all, we don't censor people based on their last name, based on their background. We just don't do that. He totally went woke on me, but I'm telling you, Jason, there's something so weird here because I don't even think he knew my father existed. I'm serious.
Right.
I couldn't really find anything. So I don't think it was him. I really do think it was Candace. Candace has repeatedly blasted me and my father, specifically me, on her ex a few times, on her YouTube channel back when she worked at the Daily Wire.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all because I was saying that what she was doing with Kanye West was wrong. When Kanye West said that Jews milk Black people until they die, the correct response to that is that's a horrific, terrible thing to say. You don't say that. You don't say that. You don't say that about any people. It's a libelous, evil thing to say. And instead of saying that, she got onto the Daily Wire and started like tearing up and crying and saying, Kanye West is a free man. So I called her out on that. And then she blasted me on her channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that Brandon, I don't know if it's opportunism, like, you change your tune based on where the crowd is going, because that's not what a leader does. It might be that, but you cannot be a leader if you do that. So is he going back to Candace now, kind of like straddling both sides because he thinks the wind is going her way? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not sure.
I don't know, because I've considering, even as what you said a moment ago, that, you don't know if Turning Point is going to be able to survive and such of that nature. I totally understand why one would say that. Okay. I totally understand that. Does Brandon not see that? Does Brandon not see that he, as a member, as somebody who allegedly has been giving money to Erica Kirk from the sale of his merchandise in support of Turning Point, do you not see that the friend that you are glazing for, the friend that you're caping for, is trying to tear down the same woman that you're supporting financially?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not see that, Brandon? So I'm only wondering. I think he's conflicted, and there's some theological conflictions that I think lend Brandon to landing where he is. There's a part of the problem in his theology, hence why he's not as grounded as people kind of think he is. And a lot of people have left even from him because of other things that he's done and said. But my point is, he comes across as very strong in such a nature. But after further examination, you realize, bro, you are not as grounded as you want to sound. Because in this situation, you should be able to call balls and strikes. You should be able to call exactly right down the middle. Tucker, Nick, and Candace are wrong. and not
Mhm.
Tucker and Nick are terrible. Candace over here, we got to give kid gloves and concession to when she's the ringleader of the foolishness that we see over here. So that would be my only admonishment. So I don't think he's really paying attention and step back. He is deep in the weeds because he and Candace did work together to start Blexit.
Mhm.
And I do think that maybe he's just blinded by that allegiance. But that's almost cult following. That's almost religious idolatry to follow your friend against truth and reality and allow your friend to just keep going out here wilding out and not call him out on the carpet in correction. And again, you don't have to be like vitriolic, but you can say like, yeah, you're wrong. You're out of pocket.
Leadership, I couldn't agree with you more. And leadership, Jason, you would know, we all know this, is not easy. No one ever said it's easy. It's very difficult. But being a leader means you call out right and wrong no matter where it comes from. It's okay that they're friends. You can still be friends and say, what you're doing to Turning Point, you need to stop. This is terrible. I hope that it's true that Turning Point, listen, I know they're not going to fall apart overnight, but
Right.
What she's doing to it is so, I don't even have the words. I mean, to accuse, and she says that she doesn't, but she has, and she is, to accuse the leadership, the people that Charlie trusted most in the world, of basically being complicit in murder. It's evil. I don't know what else to call it.
No,
And if you can't say that straight up, you are not qualified to be a leader. You're just not.
and I agree with you 100%. Sadly, I think Brandon has, again, bought into the idea that there is this notion, this idea that if we are friends, I don't call you out about things, or I only call you out, like, let's say, for example, that you found out you and I are friends. We've been friends forever. Our families know each other, great connections, all that kind of stuff. And you find out that I'm doing something inappropriate or wrong. And you say, hey, I can't, and I'm out here on these YouTube streets that's going crazy, going bonkers, right? And you're like, okay, let me pick up the phone and call Jason. Let me text Jason. Jason, what the heck are you doing, man? What's going on? Most people think that is the proper way to handle it. And that's fine if I respond in kind. If you call me, Rahel, and say, Jason, what the heck are you doing? You are wilding out. And I say, whoa, you know what? You're right. I'm wilding out. Let me stop doing this. And I stop, then that phone call is it. That's all we needed. If I continue, though, and double, triple, quadruple down, well, it's clear that the phone call isn't working. The private conversation isn't working, and it's starting to look bad on you.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, Rahel, your friend Jason, he is wilding out. And you're like, well, I call him. I talk to him privately. Well, clearly that's not working because he's getting worse. And now you must be a bad person too, or you're not really a good friend because you're not telling him that he's doing wrong. And I think I gave the example before. If we had a friend that was an avid drinker who was really, who was an alcoholic, we would have a problem if that alcoholic friend of ours was also a school bus driver. Mm-hmm. There would be no limit to how far you would go to stop your friend from driving a bus with 25, 30 children in it every day. There's no way. So why do we pretend like, oh, if I call out Candace, if I call out Jason, if I do that, they're not going to be my friend anymore. You're saving somebody's life potentially. Like, why is that a crazy thought? And I don't understand why he does it, but I hate that he ruined your experience that you had with him. That was your first time talking to him, right?
Yeah.
And that experience left a sour taste in your mouth because now you're looking at him like, look, you're a coward. You're not the person I thought you were. You left from there, you hung up the call thinking he was, on cloud nine, this great guy. Then the next day you open up your email and you're like, or text message, you're like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Craziness.
They both messaged me and emailed me. And I am telling you, in my opinion, it has to do with the fact that I said Candace Owens is diabolical and evil. I said it to his face. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something happened there. And then he demanded that I take down the interview, which I'm not going to do, obviously.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Under what circumstances? Why would I need to take it down? Under what is the reason and rationale? Come on here and
Well,
tell me
yeah.
what. Matter of fact, let's do another interview where you explain to me why I should take it down, and we'll let the audience decide if I should take it
I think
down.
that's why he never answered me. There is no good reason. There is no good rationale. It must have been Candace. That's my opinion.
All right. So, well, first of all, I'm glad that you're not giving up or anything of that nature.
No.
Where do you see this going? Do you see any more pushback, or he just send it out there to you? You didn't do anything. You're going to leave it alone. What do you think?
You mean the situation? Where do I see the situation with Brandon going?
Yes. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't see it going anywhere. They haven't answered me. And he broke a cardinal rule of never becoming arrogant with your audience. You never treat your audience like garbage. And that was something that bothered me too. It was kind of like, this never happened. Never mention me. Don't even say my name. Don't mention this ever happened. Delete everything.
Wow.
Bye. So that was gross. I just think it gave me even more moral clarity. I put God above everyone and everything. No man or woman will ever be even close to, obviously, God to me, and what God demands of us. And God wants moral human beings who have moral clarity, who are not, maybe you're afraid, who are courageous enough to say the truth and say what's right and wrong. What Candace is doing, what she's been doing for years, is wrong. It is evil. It is disgusting. It is unholy. It is irreligious. And everyone has to say it, because since Charlie was killed, there's been a huge shift in what people think is right and wrong. The fact that Nick, within 2 months, became mainstream just tells you everything you need to know. The way he speaks about, he's a racist and a Jew hater. He's just a rotten human being. And by the way, he says it all in the name of Catholicism, which is terrible. Terrible. It's one thing to say these things from your own point of view, but he's speaking in the name of Christians, which I think is disgusting. And this whole situation gave me more moral clarity to say the truth and be honest and truthful, no matter who you have to speak out against.
No, I got you. So let's talk about that. Where do you see the U.S. conservative movement? Where do we move now? Because I do think that, hold on, let me put a pin in that. I do think that Candace Owens is evil, wicked, and diabolical, used by Satan to derail all of the goodwill that was happening. It's weird that Charlie Kirk died and all of these good things were coming out of it. Not trying to venerate him at all or make him more than just the man that God used, but there were a lot of good things coming out of that. People going to church, and I'm getting more dialed in with my family. I'm trying to reconcile with this family member. All these kind of wonderful stories were coming out of the death of Charlie Kirk, and people saying, "Hey, the left is really out of pocket," because we watched them literally become violent about words and a lot of this. And somehow or another, this wicked, evil woman was able to take all of that. I mean, literally turn a ship, a gigantic battle cruiser going in the direction of revival and in such a nature, and turned it into confusion and chaos. I don't know how it happened, but God is in control. So now we're in this situation now where we're talking about Egyptian planes and Mormon beekeepers and all this other kind of insanity, instead of the things that we were talking about. Now we're looking at infighting amongst the conservative movement. How do we get back?
Okay, people might hate me for saying this. I made a video on Instagram a few days ago. Jason, if I'm going to be completely honest, which I always am, again, I truly, when I say I loved and love Charlie, I listened to this man every day of my life for the past, I don't even know how many years of my life. It is my opinion that his fatal flaw, and it's never okay to speak ill of the dead, but it's not speaking ill. It's just, I think, saying the truth. I think his fatal flaw was that he never called out Candace by name, ever. And as a Jew, I am a Jew. And people don't even want to say that anymore. I'm a Jew. That's how maligned and libeled and demonized we've been. It's hard for Jews to say, I'm a Jew. As a Jew, I'm a Jewish woman. The things she said about Jews, the conspiracies she's woven around the Jewish identity, that we are Satanists, that we worship demons,
Right.
that we drink Christian blood on Passover, that we have a ring. She actually claimed that there is a Jewish ring, a pedophile Jewish ring who runs Hollywood, and they send out children around the world. And Charlie was alive when she said these things, and he never said anything about it. And I think it's a lesson that when you don't call out evil when it comes for other people, which Charlie did all the time, but in this particular case he did not, it will come for you eventually. Because evil doesn't discriminate. It won't stop with just the Jews.
Correct.
It won't stop with just this specific group of people. Charlie never said anything about it. And in my opinion, Turning Point's still being very weak. It took them 3 months to say Candace's name. They still haven't said, based on Tucker Carlson's behavior, we're distancing ourselves from him. And, it kind of was inappropriate that at the eulogy he gave, he said that in Rome, there was a group of people eating hummus who were plotting the death of Jesus. Like, what? Why couldn't Turning Point say, we didn't know that would happen and it's never going to happen again? That's not what Charlie stood for. Right. And it's cowardice. So where is this going? That was a long way of saying, when Charlie was killed, I called my brother who lives in Israel. I called him crying. I said, I have this foreboding feeling. I feel like Charlie was a dam that held back the evil of so many people because his voice was so strong. He was such a holy, sacred man. His voice held back that evil. And when he was killed, that dam broke and that evil just seeping through. It's like a river. And unless people start making dams again and start saying the truth and saying this is wrong. Yes, Tucker Carlson hosting a Christmas party where he invites Candace, who's destroying Turning Point, who has said the most evil things about the people that run it. We are not going to invite him again. He cannot be near Candace and be taking pictures with her and promoting her voice while she's destroying what we're doing. I think I don't see the Conservative Party going in a good place, in a good direction, unless people are strong enough to say the truth.
I agree with you 100%. I'm only going to add that, and I don't think you're saying anything bad about the dead. I think we all, if we're honest, we recognize there are some flaws with Charlie Kirk. He wasn't, look, the best man is a man at best. So do not venerate anybody. Rahel is a wonderful hostess. I'm pretty decent, but literally we are in the hands of God. Do not look at us. We're just tools. And when he decides to put us away, then that's what he does. So don't do that. We can say, you know what? Yeah, Charlie was great, but he did have this flaw. He had some Achilles heels in some areas. And I think one of them was helping. I believe exactly what you said pertaining to Candace. But I also think that there's some things that he wasn't very clear on or very knowledgeable on dealing with issues right here in the States. Right here, I'm fine with the things outside of the United States, but there's some things right here that just seemed almost, for lack of a better term, flippy in your discussion about it. We need to have a real good discussion about the marriage rate and children being born out of wedlock inside the Black community. We really need to have that, and we don't need to be flippant about it. It's terrible. There's something we need to have a conversation about. We can't be flippant about that. We can't just be like off-putting about it because we need to be able to discuss that. And I don't think Charlie, there's some key areas like that I feel like Charlie just wasn't able to discuss and talk about. And let's be 100% honest with you, Candace didn't do it either. So when she was really, diehard about talking about the Black community, she did a horrible job. And she put off people far more than she entreated people in to hear her position. So I think that's an area that they could definitely improve on. Turning Point could improve on moving forward, because I do think they're going to stay relevant. They're going to stay relevant. They might be Michael Jordan on the Charlotte Hornets, not on the Bulls, but they're going to still be relevant. And we'll see coming into the next election cycle. What else do you see pertaining to what we can do as conservatives and those persons on the right moving forward? Because we do need to work on building back our coalition, because I don't know how, but we've lost a lot of coalition just 90 days. So what do you see?
Well, I think that it's very much connected to what I just said, but unity is everything. we cannot be divided. And the only way to not be divided in this terrible way that we're being divided now is for people to, in Brandon's words, stand on the truth, the real truth, and not be bullied and intimidated by certain people, not just Candace, there's a lot of them, and standing on the moral side. I actually think it's that simple. It's truly that simple. We had it when Charlie was alive because his voice was so strong and so clear. There's always a little bit of infighting, but not like we have now. Not like we have now. And I think, this is not just for the podcasters and the people who show their faces online. This is for everyone to live moral, godly lives and conserve conservative values, live out biblical values.
Yes. Everyone
can do that. And it's just making sure that this world stays godly and stays holy. This is God's world. It should look like that. If Nick Fuentes has political power, America will not look godly. It won't. It won't sound godly. It won't practice godly things. And, as a Jew, I learn the Bible and the Torah all the time. It's my whole life. And it says very clearly, this is God's world. God created the world. And it's our job to keep it that. It's always going to be God's world, but to make that clear at all times to human beings. Yeah.
No, I totally got you. I got you. Okay, we're going to shift just a second. We're going to shift just a little bit because I've talked to you for a little bit better than 30 minutes. We talked a little bit before the show came on. You seem like a nice person. Why does Candace not like you? Or is it only because of your father? Because I don't know much about your father. So at the current moment, you're okay. Now, I don't know if you put raisins in your potato salad or what, but at the current moment, we're okay. Why does she not like you? What's going on? Specifically.
It's what you said before. The Bloody Mary, the boogie, what was it? The Candyman.
Yeah, Candyman.
I was the first. There were lots of people in the Jewish community who were kissing her butt when she was saying these. And she was working for, on the Daily Wire, which is co-founded by an Orthodox Jew, Ben Shapiro. And she was saying these terrible things. First of all, she accused my father. It's not even about my dad. She accused my dad of killing Michael Jackson. I mean, you have to be insane. No, I don't like using the word insane because that kind of, that excuses her. But the whole Hollywood is run by Jews. The media is run by Jews. And by the way, these aren't real Jews. These are Frankish Jews that come from Bohemia and Moravia who worship Satan and sleep with children. I mean, and I said, am I in a dream? Is this a nightmare? Why is no one saying, no one was saying anything? Actually, right after she said that, Daily Wire had a backstage. They did a Daily Wire backstage. Everyone sat together and was laughing and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying to my husband has to listen to me talk. He's like my sounding board to know if I'm going too far. He's such a good person. So I know I can trust, he has such good values, I should say. And I remember telling my husband, she just told the world that Jews run Hollywood with the means of a pedophile ring.
Right.
No one, and not only no one was talking about it, Jewish influencer, I remember a Jewish influencer that I knew who had a big podcast, she brought her on to discuss it. Why did you say that? That's not how you confront evil. So I started making videos saying, this is insane. This is evil. There are no Jews that run Hollywood, that have a pedophile ring, that send children all around. This is evil. And these are age-old conspiracy theories about Jews. And I will not stand as you say them. I will not stand by. And she ripped into me. And her followers have been trolling me ever since. I truly don't care. But that's why she hates me, because I'm not afraid of her. I truly don't care what she thinks. I truly don't care what she does. To me, she is the lowest of the low kind of human being. She takes advantage of the vulnerable, the exact kinds of people that God tells us to take care of.
Okay.
That's why she hates me.
Got you. All right. Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know. What are you going to do to make her hate you more? No, I'm just kidding.
You'll see, Jason. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, wait. Oh,
listen, as long as she's disgusting, I'm just going to keep making videos and commentary about it because someone has to.
No, I agree 100%. Okay. Now, is there any road of repair at all between you and Brandon, do you think? Or are you just
Um,
gonna leave that door open, or you closed it, locked it? Where are we at with that?
if he had, the moral courage to say, okay, Candace does not stand on the truth and I shouldn't have tried to cancel you. Yeah, sure. I'm into, repentance. I repent every day. I
Right,
am,
absolutely.
we're all human beings. Um, if he were strong enough to say, you know what, yeah, I did co-found Blexit with Candace and we know each other for years, but what she's doing is evil. No problem. I don't
Right.
think that's going to happen though.
No, I hate to say it. I'm not gonna hold my breath either. I'm not gonna hold my breath either,
Yeah.
because I don't think that I don't think he has the guidance. I don't think he has the moral clarity. I don't think he has the moral compass, if you will, to lead him back into, because he's been being called out since Charlie Kirk's body hit the ground.
Yeah.
Almost, people have been like, "Yo," and I want to say probably even before then, like,
Yeah.
"Yo, man, what are you gonna say about Candace?" Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it was before then because Candace was wilding out about the Macrones.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he still hasn't said anything. So I don't think anything's going to come of it. But that's sad to see because we do need people who are going to speak clearly, and we do. The only thing I'm only going to stop because I know he doesn't rock with Tucker that much. He allegedly hates Nick Fuentes. I don't know where he's going to end up landing if he ends up. I mean, and Candace. I mean, that would be just a very gross matchup. Him and Candace getting back together again or working together and such like that. I don't know who he's going to work with or what projects he's going to do outside of his own podcast. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Okay.
sense.
So I don't know. I mean, he's going to be a man without an island in a moment, a man without a country.
Yeah.
Because he's isolated other people that he could work with and would support him and so on and so forth. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's his decision. Let me see if I got any quick comments in here. I know I saw some real quick. If you got time on, shout out to Amethyst says this with the 2. I'll say it 10 toes down. Candaspiracy wrote that. I mean, when I went back to read it, it is giving some, it is giving either, hold on, maybe Brandon has queued up Chat GPT to write as if it were Candace.
That's an option. That's definitely an option. The Candaspiracy, I like that. I'm going to start using that word. That's a great word. But it could have been chat.
Candaspiracy. Do you know what her followers are?
No.
Cantifa. Come on.
My gosh, they're Cantifa. That's what you said before. I was like,
Yes.
Cantifa, that is so good.
You're welcome to use it. Knock yourself out. Candaspiracy feeds Cantifa. We're just here for the laughs and giggles. Because at this point, I can't take Candace seriously. I'm like, the intent cannot be for me to be like, I'll take you, Rahel, seriously. If you were doing a show, I'll give you a chance to be serious and such of that nature. But you can't tell me what we saw yesterday when this woman was talking about the I have a Green Beret nap time coming on tomorrow to debunk all of her military theories. And there's no way you want me to take that woman seriously, what she said yesterday. So therefore, I'm just going to make fun of it.
By the way, it would be funny because she's so insane. It would be funny if it weren't also evil. Like, I wish we could just laugh at, like, yeah, if she sounds insane, the Egyptian plains, but the way she libels people, gossips about people, and demonizes them is crazy.
You are correct. I think when I'm saying laugh at it, like, before we get like in despair and such of that nature, like, let's just let it out and laugh. That's why we play Candy Rot Bingo. That's why we just make fun of it. Because otherwise it's kind of sad to see, because yes, there are people's lives directly being impacted, not by us, but by her.
Yeah.
So that's a reality.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amethyst, again with the 10. Are Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens friends, or is it their business connection? As far as I know, I'm going to take them with a grain of salt. Brandon has said that they're friends. Now, it's odd because the way he describes their friendship, you would think they live next door to one another. Mm-hmm. When he's talking about their kids and their wives and such of that nature. I'm like, dude, you live in Arizona and she lives in Tennessee. Your kids are not seeing each other. Stop it. The way the way he tells the story. Uh, have you heard him say that?
I heard him call her his sister. I called my
Yeah.
sister. I didn't hear about the Tennessee, the kids. No.
Well, he lives in Arizona. She lives in Tennessee. That's a fact. But he makes it sound like, again, like they go on vacation together and they're this, that, and other. Like, where is this? I don't know where he's getting this from. It's been suggested her product pitches are linked to his budding empire. What rabbit trail can we go down next? I've actually heard this, that somebody has alluded that her merchandise that she sells, the print company that prints it is Brandon Tatum's print company.
Really?
I don't know that emphatically. I do not. I'm just telling you how it was shared with me. Matter of fact, I know more than Candace because I got an actual email. I'll show y'all. So
wow.
somebody said like that's who does her merchandise.
That's an interesting theory. That would actually explain a lot.
It would. I don't know it emphatically, but neither can.
Yeah.
But I will show you my proof when y'all show me that 920 building email. That's the email I want. I got to get that email, y'all. So yeah, but yeah, that was alluded to before that's part of their relationship is that he does her merchandise.
That would explain something.
It
I
would.
have to research that.
Rahel Leah, an unrelated question. Are there different levels of orthodoxy among the women? I see your head isn't covered. Do you have a video on your channel addressing this?
That's so funny. Jason, I'm wearing a wig. I'm actually wearing a wig.
What?
That is so
wait,
funny.
hold on, wait. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Hold on, I might give you big screen for this.
Thank
okay, go
you.
ahead. Explain this.
I do cover my hair and my head at all times. It is always covered unless I'm home with just my husband. Then I can uncover my hair. But if I'm not covered, this is a wig. This is a very expensive wig because you don't want to have this big thing on your head. But my hair is always covered. But yes, there are different levels of orthodoxy amongst all Jews, but specifically, Jewish women. Some cover their hair, some don't. But that doesn't change the law. The Jewish law, halacha, that's a Hebrew word, means Jewish law, is that your hair needs to be covered in public if there is anyone there. Yeah. It's a wig.
I'm done. I'm getting learnt up in here. Okay. Wait, what does it say? Yep, they make amazing wigs. I don't even know what to say. I don't actually know where even to go from here. Like you've ruined my whole show. I don't even know where to go. Okay.
Yes, but that's she's a great question. A lot of people don't know because thank God it looks real. But if you look at like the 90s, like my mom, like you could tell it's a wig. They have these like styrofoam, like they're like triangular. So thank God for modern wig makers.
Okay. Well, hold on now. But you might need to go ahead and make sure you get a wig sponsorship because people are now asking for the link. So at least
So you know what, guys? I'm going to tell you. This wig is made by Zelda Wigs. She's a wig maker in New York. This wig is amazing. I've had it for, I think, 2 years, but it's starting to, I got to get a new one. So every like 2 or 3 years, you get a new one because you wear it every single day of your life. Yeah. You wouldn't have guessed, Jason? You can't tell nothing? Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I am a typical guy. I don't know. Like my wife will tell me things. I'm like, I didn't know that. My daughters will tell me things like, I did not know that. I didn't know that.
Like all men.
So I'm just like I'm your run of the mill oblivious dude. Like I didn't know that, whatever. Until my daughter started wearing makeup, that's when I'm hold on, wait. So I can tell like when she's wearing false lashes or whatnot. But yeah, I'm on this train right here. I was just thinking it. I just said, okay, her hair looks nice.
Guys, okay. Thank you. I
well,
appreciate
shout out
it.
That's exactly where I was. I was like, okay. Well, as you can tell, I clearly am not a wig wearer by any means or measures. I have some several hats
great,
over
Jason.
That I didn't know you. I walked right into that buzzsaw.
Yeah.
Are there any other? Do you have any videos or anything on your channel? Maybe that also.
Yes. My YouTube channel is Rachel Leah, ROCHELLEAH. It's a long Hebrew name.
No, they put it in there. The mods put it in there for you.
Oh, thanks. I talk about Judaism, the Bible. I talk about culture, politics, and all things wigs. We have a lot more crazy things that we do. Jewish women and Jewish couples do. People don't know about. It's very interesting. Half of the month, husbands and wives don't touch at all. We talk about that on the podcast. We cover our hair. We wear modest clothing. We cover, there's like guardrail. We cover our collarbones, our elbows, our knees, and our legs. But we believe in beauty. It's not because we're trying to be less beautiful. It's because the female body is sacred and holy, and it's God is trying to tell womankind that our contribution to the world is not bodily. It's our personality. It's our character. By the way, Jason, my baby is going to be home in like 2 minutes, but I'll tell you this. This is a conversation for another time. I was just making a video right before we got on about this, about how women today, women have never been so naked before. Women don't really wear clothing anymore. I find that to be very sad. And it's because I think that, post-sexual revolution / female, new age feminism, plus the Kardashian culture, it's taught women that our contribution to the world is our body. And it's a shame. It's sad. And that is what modesty in Judaism teaches women. Your contribution is not your body. You have so much more to give to the world.
I love it. Thank you. Now, does that mean we got to end?
Yeah, I have this 5-month-old who's going to be screaming as he walks through the door with my husband in 2 minutes.
I love it. I love it. Rahel, thank you so much for your time today. Let's do this again, because there was some questions that popped up, and I will. You know what? I'll send the questions to you, and then we'll do this again when you have an opportunity.
I would love that, and I'm so grateful to you, and God should bless you in every way. Everything you want, everything you need. All your followers should have the best of the best, and I'm so grateful you had me on. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, friend. I want you to take care of your family. I'll see you real soon.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye now. All right. Thank y'all, everybody. That was Rahel Leah. And she's a wonderful young lady that sat down with Brandon Tatum. And then Brandon Tatum wanted her to take the video down. So I wanted to hear her story, a little bit about what was going on with her, how she felt about that. And thank you all so much to the most electrifying live chat on the planet. Thank y'all so much, man. Y'all really made her feel welcome, and I'm looking forward to having her back again. How did you know about the wigs, though, man? I'm sitting there thinking this. I'm like, okay, her hair looks nice. I really did not know. Yeah, I walked right into that buzzsaw. I walked right into it. Thank you so much, man. That was really fun. I'm still stunned, man. My wife is gonna crack jokes about that one for sure. But thank y'all so much for rocking with us. I know this is an early morning live stream. I know most of us are probably on our way to work, getting our coffee around the water cooler, whatever. Thank y'all for hanging in, jumping in with us. And we will be doing our watch party tonight, 5 o'clock-ish, whenever she decides to go live. So we will be doing that. And I will make sure we play Candace Bingo. I don't know why I forgot the last couple of days, but we will. Friday evening at 7 o'clock, I have Green Beret Nap Time. If you follow him, GBNT on Twitter, he is a former military expert, professional, and he's going to come on. We're just going to debunk all of these Candace-spiracy theories around the military, specifically around the military, because she said some pretty egregious things about our men and women in uniform, and he's just going to knock them down. We're going to line them up and knock them down just like dominoes. So that's what we're going to do on Friday night. So you'll see the link pop up. I think it's already up on my channel. So you can definitely make sure you hit the bell notification, all that kind of good jazz like that. So thank y'all so much, everybody. I want to say I appreciate all of you all. Thank you, Amethyst, for the very kind supers as well. You know, you're the stream sponsor. I appreciate you. Welcome to Natasha for being a brand new member, as well as thank you, Tracy, for blessing 5 people with memberships. If you did get a membership, make sure you tell Tracy thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let me tell you, I had these questions ready, by the way. I didn't realize that we were running hard against a time stop, because I would have probably cut my little jokes out of the way. So I did screenshot these pictures, Tracy. Screenshot these questions, Crystal and Tracy, and I'm going to send them to Rahel and see if maybe we can get a do-over, maybe answer some questions. Or whatnot like that. Maybe she'll do a video about it. That'd be something interesting. Lots of good people in here. Yeah, look, to me, I think the fact that men and women put their lives in harm's way doesn't absolve you from criticism. But I do think there's a level of respect we need to give to our uniformed and our EMTs and first responders. They do things that we definitely want them to do. And I think that should be our like, hey, let's give them some grace. Now, sure, does that mean everybody's perfect? By no means. Come on, stop it. But Candace is just out of pocket. So, matter of fact, we talked about that a little bit last night on Paramount Tactical about the fact that she comes across like she doesn't like the military, like she has a problem with them. Not just she has a critique of them, or not just that she has an assessment about them, but rather she doesn't like them. So, everybody, I want to say thank y'all. Do me a favor, go have a fantastic day. We're gonna be back up in this thing again this afternoon, 5 o'clock ish, as soon as I know when she's gonna go live. And we'll talk about, I do have one video that we'll talk about, so we'll probably start maybe a little earlier and get ourselves ready, and then we'll be ready to pop in and do the watch party. I want to say thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Thank you for hitting the like button. Make sure you tip your waiters on the way out the door, green hearts, all that kind of good stuff. If I earned it, only if I earned it, could you hit that subscribe button? It helps out a whole lot. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whitt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.